The question was asked about the policies or laws. Basically, in construction, we have Procurement and Disposal Act, which is we are guided by that. And we cannot go beyond that unless otherwise. And the problem is only on 60 days, then you can be given your money. But here, we are in Kenya, we are in Nakuru, that if I take these guys to court because of 60 days have elapsed, tomorrow they will not give me a job again. My recommendation is that our director talked about the revenue collection. But we are all aware that when you are doing a budget, you are giving out the provision, the revenue provision, whereby this will guide you also on the expenditures that had been used and then what you are expecting to collect for this particular year. But we have seen this director that 2023, 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, up to now, the pending bill is only incurring and increasing. I'm thinking that we need not only to have a policy, but strengthening the existing policies, the gaps that has been realized in those policies. Like last year but one, kila mtu aliona ya kwamba in the office of director or the CEO, there are also those stamps, paid, received, whatever, but they are somewhere in somewhere's building ya kwamba those tax revenue collections, somebody somewhere are collecting this money na wanapeleka kuweka nini empowerment project ya even a certain word. We need to bridge these gaps and policies so that we collect a total amount to service our to pay our pending bills. Lee Kinyanjui, I'm sorry to say this, to quote his name, aliwacha county Nakuru ikiwa on top, but in terms of revenue collection. But now wakati tumeingia hii government tuko ikarudi mpaka zero, eti hata Nyamira anatushinda kwa revenue collection. So Bwana Director, together in your department, kindly pull up your socks so that the revenue collection iwe juu. Nimesikia ukiongea kwamba waivers iko zaidi. We are only aware that waivers inafanyika kwa persons with disabilities in this county. Sindio ti? Lakini hii peke yake haiwezi affect the entire revenue collection.
For our members to be paid timely, we usually continuously sensitize our members to be up to date, to be prepared, so that when they are given these jobs, they do not fail. They are up to par. Yes, that is according to our experience. That's why we have Chamber of Commerce, and is a membership of organization whereby you subscribe, and we usually do these forums in collaboration even with national and county governments, other institutions like Kenya Bureau of Standards, Equity Bank, financial institutions, even teaching our members on financial literacy. You can't take money from any Shylock microfinance to do a tender, maybe a county tender, which you don't know if you'll be paid in the 60 days. So we usually sensitize them on where to find funds, on where to get affordable loans. Yes, so that they be prepared.
Yeah, I really wanted to hear from you whether your members have been raising concerns around payment after they have received all the capacity building and gotten the tenders. What is their experience like when it comes to receiving payment?
Yeah, some have got nasty experiences, some have got good experiences, but majorly, especially when counties are transitioning, that is when we find a lot of issues amongst our members. Like currently, as we near the campaign period and the general elections, most of our members fear getting contracts, getting tenders from county governments, because as the government transition, you might lose your money.
First of all,
Perhaps to other young people?
as a youth representative, I'd say the experience was eye-opening, first of all. Like, I've noticed and I've learned what goes on and how everything works majorly. So for me, representing all the youths, I'd say it goes two ways, first of all. Like, you do the work, you get paid. And so the bills being there pending, that means there's an issue somewhere arising. So I wouldn't say it's that bad. I'd just recommend a little clarity. And also representing the youths, I'd like to voice out the things that I've learned. So I'd say it's not that bad, but it's eye-opening. And I wouldn't complain much because I also work with the county government in terms of garbage collection and stuff. So as a member, I'd say, as a member of the youth, I'd say out of our working experience, it's 50-50 because, you know, sisi kama youth, unajua hiyo ni panel, ni, what can I say? It's a group tumeform ndo tufanye hiyo garbage collection. But unapata uwezi involve watu wengine cause pesa haitatosha yani. So hakuna vile utaita mtu kazi na haumlipi. And for us, tuseme, si huwa tunalipwa na the people mostly, like the people tunawafanyia hiyo kazi, but part of it ni county government kutusupplya vitu like zetu tunahitaji like wheelbarrows, carts and overalls and stuff, unaona? So kama like county government haifulfill all that, unaona uwezi ita watu wengine kazi cause hawana equipments and pia hawatapata pesa. Uwezi ita mtu kazi na hawatapata pesa. So siwezi sema ni mbaya cause pia tunawaka nao na they are actually doing a good job. It's just that see complete, it's not 100%.
Yeah, you've talked about the inspection. There are those issues that you said touch on the contractor, that they finished the work and maybe they did not provide all the documentation that was required. As the contractor waits for all these processes to complete, I want to ask Obama about his experience on the communication. How is the county communicating with the suppliers to let them know you have not been paid because you did not provide certain documentation, for instance, or you have not been paid because your budget was in the previous financial year and now we are in this financial year and we've got to go through the supplementary process. Obama, as a person sitting outside the county government, not knowing what is actually going on in the background, how does the county communicate to you as suppliers in the event of delayed payment? Because you told us that sometimes you will receive partial payment or sometimes you don't get payment at all. You have to go and finance that entire project, complete it, and then submit your request for payment from the county, who has to go and inspect and maybe identify some gaps and then come back to you. How is that communication? Very briefly, in like just a minute, what has been your experience? Do you receive the communication and in what form?
Bansi, thank you. Let me request not a minute, because this is where the critique of all this procurement lies. Our director has talked about inspection. In terms of construction like a classroom like this, it is not a one thing inspection that is being done after the completion of the construction. One, there is inspection by the engineers from the county government. That is when you are laying a foundation. After you have laid the foundation, they came to inspect it, whether it is correctly measured. After that, then you put on the foundation. You laid now a foundation. After that laying up now the foundation, the engineers come in again to inspect and to certify whether it is correct. With that, you are being given a notification to go ahead to a certain level. Then now it comes to walling. After you have done with the walling, they come again to inspect that. Then roofing, then putting up iron sheet, then now flooring. After that, and then now the completion of the work done. During this, Bansi and the audience, it is not a one-man show. It is all collective. That before the county government engineers come to inspect, you cannot move to a certain level. Bansi, I have my friends here, like Kuti, like Peter, like Kabwao. With the small supplies, inspection of the supplies of like tissue papers and others is being done immediately when you have submitted, you are supplying the department with these items. They do the visibility of inspection at that particular time and they approve it. That now these are the right materials that we have required, and then they are issuing you with what, a certificate that now wait for your what, for your money. Mark you that Uti is here. We've given money. Some was it last year? Last year down the line, only like how much was it? Around Uti was it 150 or 60,000? You supplied. It has taken 1.5, almost 2 years, Bansi. He has not been paid up to date, like down the line. So these issues, Bwana Director, we need to, you see, hapa chini vitu ni tofauti, but ofisini, nyinyi unasema kila kitu iko sawa. But here is whereby, even Uti, kama sisi tungekuwa ya kwamba ni financial institution, tungeenda kubeba vitu zake. But as a group that we felt that Uti hajalipwa na amesupply, mpaka saa hii hakuna deni yetu.
Okay, asante sana for clarifying the issue about the inspection. So for you, you feel that the inspection work is done and completed. The challenge is in after getting the certificate of completion, yes, processing the payment.
The challenge is in the office.
But then I really want to hear your feedback on the communication. Do you get communication about delayed? It's a yes or no?
It is no. Unafuatilia tu now physically. Kama pesa iko italipwa lini, ngoja kesho, ngoja next week, na next week inakuwa next month, ngoja next year, mpaka amuti mimi nadanganyana. Juzi tu, yes.
Okay, asante sana Obama for that voice. Tumesikia kutoka kwa contractors from the horse's mouth, yeah? To ensure that we are actually clearing our pending bills. So Sharon, as you respond to one Raya's question, please also give us your recommendation as we wrap up.
Okay, you had asked if we had done a research on revenue. On how much revenue?
Garbage management contributes.
Okay.
And whether you're just there for money.
Sorry for our inconvenience, but we have not yet done the research. And yes, sometimes we do feel like we are there for the view, because if it were not so, I wouldn't be here alone. I would have my age mates here, more of the youth people in here. And also, I've been championing like involvement of the youth with the government, because I've been writing a lot of formal letters to the government. I've been doing reports, registering of the youth, asking for the ID number, for the IDs, their numbers, but yet I cannot say there is a good response to that. And it's so sad to say that we are being brought back and forth. That's why sometimes we feel like we are not actually involved in the government. So thank you for that. And
policy and recommendation, what do you want to see? How do you think the county government can address the government?
so speaking for the youth, I'd say I'd like to recommend that they involve us more. Like, I wouldn't have to be writing a lot of formal letters and stuff like that to make the youth feel involved when it's actually not working. Okay?
Do you ever get responses to the letters?
No, we go there, tunaambia leteni like something, tulete kitu ingine, tuambie mlete hii ndo tuambie hivyo. It's been a year working on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Linda?
Okay, from my side, that is the private sector. What I would encourage is let us join these associations for better negotiation, and it will also help the national and county government to have a coordinated communication or a coordinated approach as far as tenders is concerned. Yeah.